travellers, just going to pick up my passport. This could be the last step.
Hi travellers, I'm Anne's daughter Laleko, and in this video I'm showing how, as a New Zealander, you can get a Z visa to go and live and work in China. So I have been through this process before. It is slightly different this time because there is a medical check involved, which there wasn't before. So I am using some of my previous documents that I have already had authenticated and just have come back home to collect up all the rest of everything that needs to be done and process the visa so I can head on my way.
Yeah, so this is basically what you need for the Z visa. So you've got your degree, and then you get it notarized by a notary republic. Send this singular piece of paper off to these people at Internal Affairs, which I've just shown you on the website how to do that. They stick this sucker on the front. Really pretty ribbon, yay. And then you take this, you either take it yourself or you send it off to the Chinese embassy, who then sticks one of those things on it. And that's the magical thing. So basically it's a lot of steps for what is a tiny little sticker, and it takes time to acquire. You've got to go and get the notary. That's expensive because, you know, you're paying their fees to go and do that. And then the authentication department, they say they take between 3 and 7 business days to process it, and there's no urgent service with that. So you also have to do that for your criminal record check, which is exactly why I printed mine out today. I'm just going to fill out that form and then pop it in the post. They do have an 0800 number that you can call, or an international number if you're calling from overseas, which is what I would usually be doing, and they are lovely. Super helpful, any silly question, so I have had no problems with them. I will say my tip is to apply for your criminal record check while you're still overseas, or even considering at a long shot that you might want to work overseas. For almost any country you do need to provide a criminal record check. You can just Google that. In New Zealand it takes 20 days to process, 20 working days. So that's why I say, even if it's a minute thought that you might, because the validity's got to be within 6 months of the document being, of the date on the top of the document. So think way in advance for that, but because it's free and it does take time to get to you, then that is something. So like when I arrived here in New Zealand, the mail was already sitting there, so now I'm like, well, I better do something with it. Not every country will need you to authenticate it. So drop-offs are open from 9 till 12 here in Christchurch. I recommend getting here right at 9 because there isn't much of a queue at all, but it really depends on the day. Good luck. Alrighty, so I'm on my way to go and get my chest x-ray for my medical. I've just been up to the GP, sorry I'm driving, just been up to the GP, or will be shortly as soon as this traffic gives way. I've just been up to the GP to do most of the things that I need. The visa person that I'm dealing with for the Z visa, she sent through this medical form. It's like 2 pages. And I just printed them out and took them to the doctor, so that's fine. And then, yeah, these are the other holes, that the services that they don't offer. Because it's for a visa, which I didn't realize, that means that the appointment I had to pay for, so I was not prepared for that at all. And I'm like, what? This is madness, because it's for a visa. So I realized, look, the system is not perfect. For my American viewers, it's not normal that we would pay for a doctor's appointment. That's very strange, and it was actually a much more involved appointment than I had foreseen. So I guess that's also why I'm trying to put this in. It's not just a normal appointment, it's sort of like a double appointment because it takes so long. But he was very efficient at it, which is fantastic. And yeah, I got the ECG done there, but I have to go separately to get the chest x-ray, which is where I'm heading now, and then also the blood test because they don't do it on site anymore. And he did tell me that because it's for a visa, then I'll have to pay for those. Again, not covered by the national system. So at least I've had pre-warning. But in regards to your budgeting, and that's where I can only speak to the New Zealand system. Potentially it will cost more, or for you UK viewers, maybe it's covered by the system, which would be wonderful. But because it's for a visa abroad, then it's not. So they quoted me $120 for the X-ray over the phone appointment. Like I've just called as I was sitting in the parking lot at the mall where I was, and now I'm driving straight to the appointment. Hopefully I will be there on time because it's in 6 minutes. But it was the next available one, so I'm just like, yeah, sure. It was super quick and easy. The longest part was getting undressed and dressed again. It ended up costing $106. So that's not terrible, considering there was supposed to be 120. Alright, blood test. It was not quick. It cost $79, and this is the last step. Yes, in getting my Z visa. Right, I've got it! Woohoo! Okay, so I guess I have to look at flights now. So all over, they probably took the best part of a month from start to finish. It would have taken longer if I hadn't ordered my criminal record check before I arrive back in the country, because that does take the 20 days, remember, and then you've still got to go through the other processes too. Takes up a whole stamp in your passport, a whole page in your passport. Yay, Z visa! So to buy the actual visa is 140 New Zealand dollars. So yeah, there's a lot of costs to just get the visa, a lot of the little steps involved, as you've seen. So you do need to have funds that you can just pull on to be able to get this far in the process. As I said earlier, make sure that you check your contract that you are going to get these fees reimbursed for every step of the way. Some do, some only will refund you for this part that I've just done, the 140, not the medical check and authenticating and all that. So please definitely question that in your contracts to make sure that that is all covered, that you're going to get all of that back and before you sign it. So yeah, it is quite time consuming, so yes, you also have to have the time and patience. I've been back in New Zealand purely for this purpose. Yay, I'm at the end of the road and now I can get on a plane. Oh, even though I'm not ready. Please check out my packing video for moving abroad, as well as my upcoming flight reviews of going from Christchurch to China. Quite looking forward to making them. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments box below. Of course, I can only my experiences with New Zealand, so that's all I can offer. If you're from other countries, then I'm sure the prices do differ, but presumably the process is much the same. Alrighty, have a great day.